Hi everyone, I am Gabbie Sefranek. I am a senior transportation planner at Caltrans in the Division of Rail. For my Capstone project, I evaluated the implementation of the 2018 California State Rail Plan, focused on service goals in Northern California. My first research question looked to determine the status of implementation of the short-term goals identified to be completed by 2022 in the 2018 State Rail Plan. As this plan has a phased implementation strategy where the short-term goals build towards the long-term fully integrated network vision, it is necessary to ensure the short-term projects are progressing to meet our long-term goals for the rail network. To determine the status of these service goals, I reviewed current service schedules and project databases. My second research question looked to determine what issues were experienced by projects that support the 2022 short-term service goals, and this question was answered through interviews with project representatives from responsible public agencies. And my third research question was to determine recommendations aimed at improving rail project planning, development, and delivery in California. And to answer this question, I solicited recommendations from the agencies interviewed for research question 2, as well as representatives from Union Pacific Railroad and Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway, which are the major infrastructure owners and stakeholders in the region. Now looking at the results, for the first research question to determine the completion of the short-term goals, major findings were: first, 1 out of 11 service goals were complete by the target date of 2022, 2 were complete as of 2024. And the second finding being that the majority of projects that are in progress are in what the Federal Railroad Administration defines as the final design project lifecycle stage, where construction is the next stage. For the second research question, what issues were experienced by these projects? Key issues were stakeholder coordination, coordination of grant funding, regulatory and permitting processes, and cost increases and inflation. For the third research question, what are recommendations to improve rail project delivery in California? 3 key recommendations were found from interviewees. The first being rethinking funding for rail projects, where there were many issues related to securing and coordinating competitive grants. The second being alignment of federal and state processes. So as the state and federal rail project phases are defined differently, it is difficult to ensure requirements are met for both. And then the third being clear communication on priorities and processes from the state. So ensuring that the state provides clear priorities and identifies opportunities to simplify and standardize state processes. Based on these results, my project includes recommendations specifically for Caltrans Division of Rail. First, to address common issues experienced by projects as found in this research, as well as to implement recommendations from interviewees. So these recommendations include, first, evaluating funding alternatives. So working with the California State Transportation Agency as well as the federal government to identify opportunities to fund rail projects through funding mechanisms such as formula funds instead of competitive grants. The second being streamlining stakeholder coordination. This can be done through the creation of state-led engagement processes for both public and private stakeholders. The third being restructuring state project planning, development, and delivery process to align with the Federal Railroad Administration to simplify coordination between agencies. And lastly, the development of a rail project delivery manual to provide clear direction on the process and identify opportunities for standardization. Ultimately, implementation of these recommendations by Caltrans Division of Rail will work to achieve the long-term service goals for the state rail network and ensure that Californians receive the important associated economic, environmental, and equity benefits provided by that network.